Hello and welcome back to our channel. In the last video, we have learned what is life process and the four important life processes. In this video, we'll talk about nutrition. As discussed, nutrition is the process of obtaining food and other nutrients essential for our body and its utilization for energy. And the substances which provide nutrition are called nutrients like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and so on. Nutrients are provided by the food we eat. Now the question is, how do living organisms get their food? Based on how an organism obtains its food, nutrition is divided into two types: autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Before discussing in detail, let's revise what are autotrophs and heterotrophs. Autotrophs are the green plants which prepare their own food, while heterotrophs are the organisms which depend on others for their food. Now let's come to different types of nutrition in detail. First one is autotrophic nutrition. It is a type of nutrition in which autotrophs prepare their food with the help of carbon dioxide and water and convert it into carbohydrates in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. This carbohydrate, which is a food prepared by the plants, is utilized for providing energy to the plant. Water as well as other nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, iron, magnesium is taken by the roots of the plant. Nitrogen is important to synthesize protein and other compounds, which is taken as nitrates and nitrites prepared by bacteria from atmospheric nitrogen. Stored food of plant is called starch and that of animal is called glycogen. Now let's see what are the events which occur during photosynthesis. First, sunlight energy is absorbed by chlorophyll. Second, absorbed light energy is converted into chemical energy. And water molecules are split into hydrogen and oxygen. And third, CO2 is reduced to form carbohydrates. Now the question is, where are chlorophyll present? So chlorophyll is a green pigment which is present in the cell organelle called the chloroplast. Chloroplasts are visible as green dots in some cells of the leaf. Now let's talk about how plant obtains CO2. Exchange of CO2 and O2 takes place through stomata. Stomata is a tiny pore present on the surface of leaves. If we talk about the structure, stomata consists of the following. Guard cells. It is a kidney or bean-shaped cells which surrounds the stoma and controls its opening and closing. Next is stoma. It is a pore which is surrounded by the guard cells and its main function is to allow the exchange of gases. Next is subsidiary cells. These are the cells which surround the guard cell and protect them when they expand. And the last is cell wall. It is a tough and flexible layer which protects the stoma or the pore. Now let's see how stomata work. Stomatal pore called stoma opens and closes. It is controlled by the guard cells. When water enters the cell, guard cells swell causing it to open, and when leaves the cell, it shrinks causing it to get closed. Please remember that exchange of gases also occurs through green stems due to presence of stomata there. This was all about autotrophic nutrition. Now let's come to heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition is a mode of nutrition in which organisms depends on others for their food. Organisms obtaining their food through this mode are called heterotrophs. This heterotrophic nutrition is divided into three parts: saprophytic nutrition, parasitic nutrition, and holozoic nutrition. Now what is saprophytic nutrition? It is a mode of nutrition in which organisms obtain their food from dead and decaying matter, example bacteria, fungi. What are parasitic nutrition? Parasitic nutrition is a mode of nutrition in which organisms obtain food from other organisms by living on or inside the body of the other organism. The other organism body is called the host. The parasites completely depend on the hosts for their survival. They harm the body of the host but they do not kill them. Example, lice, tapeworm, cuscuta. What is holozoic nutrition? It is a mode of nutrition in which organisms take in and break the solid or liquid food. It includes 5 steps: ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and ingestion. Ingestion means taking in food through mouth. Digestion means breakdown of food into simpler substances. Absorption means absorbing of the digested food into bloodstream. Assimilation means using digested food for growth and repair. And ingestion means removing of undigested food from our body. Now we will study nutrition in amoeba. Amoeba is a unicellular organism, so the food is taken in by the entire surface, but in multicellular organism like humans, different parts of the body perform different function. Now let's see the nutrition in amoeba. Nutrition in amoeba involves the following steps. Number 1, ingestion. Amoeba takes in food using temporary finger-like projection called pseudopodia. Second, digestion. The engulfed food fuse to form a food vacuole inside which complex food particles are broken down into simpler substances due to secretion of digestive juices. Third, absorption. The digested food then diffuses into the cytoplasm. Fourth, assimilation. The absorbed food is utilized for growth and repair of the body. And last, digestion. Here the remaining undigested food is moved out of the cell. Now let's come to nutrition in human beings. Nutrition in human beings follow a series of steps and different parts perform different function. Nutrition in human is basically carried by a long tube called alimentary canal which extends from the mouth to the anus. Let us study in detail all the 5 steps. First one is ingestion. In this process, the food is taken in through our mouth. Next is digestion. Here, breakdown of complex food into simple substances occurs. It is a complex process in multicellular organism. It is as follows. Number 1, the food is well chewed by the teeth and the tongue helps in mixing the food. Number 2, our mouth has salivary gland which secretes saliva. The saliva contains an enzyme called salivary amylase that breaks starch into simple sugar. Number 3, the food is then taken to the stomach through food pipe, also called esophagus, by the peristaltic movement. It is a movement in which muscles contract rhythmically in order to push the food forward. Fourth, when the food reaches the stomach, it mixes thoroughly with the digestive juice of the stomach. In the stomach, following events takes place. Number 1, the wall of the stomach has gastric glands which secrete hydrochloric acid. It kills harmful bacteria which might have entered through food and also creates acidic medium for the enzyme pepsin to act. Number 2, it secretes a protein digestive enzyme called pepsin which breaks down protein into simple substances. Number 3, it secretes mucus which protects the inner lining of the stomach from the action of acid. So these are the processes which takes place in the stomach. Now next is food moves into small intestine which is the longest part of alimentary canal and fitted into compact space because of extensive coil. Herbivores have longer small intestine than carnivores as they have to digest cellulose. Small intestine is the site of complete digestion of carbohydrates, proteins and fats. It receives secretion of liver and pancreas as well as small intestine's own secretions. Now let's see function of liver in the digestion process. Number 1, liver secretes bile which acts on fat and breaks large fat globules into smaller ones so as to increase the efficiency of enzyme lipase on fat as enzymes couldn't act on large fat globules. This is called emulsification of fat. And number 2, it neutralizes the acidic food coming from stomach to alkaline medium for the pancreatic enzymes to act. Now, function of pancreas in digestion. Pancreas secretes pancreatic juice which contain enzyme trypsin and lipase for digesting protein and emulsified fat respectively. Now, function of small intestine in digestion. The walls of small intestine contain glands which secrete intestinal juice which converts proteins into amino acids, complex carbohydrates into glucose and fats into fatty acid and glycerol. This was all about digestion process. Now our next process is absorption. Inner lining of small intestine has numerous finger-like projection called villi which increases surface area for absorption. Villi are richly supplied with blood vessels which takes the absorbed food to each and every part of the body. Next is assimilation. When the absorbed food reaches each and every part of the body, it is utilized for obtaining energy, building up new tissues and repair of the old tissue. Now the last is digestion. Here the unabsorbed food is sent to large intestine which absorbs excess water from it and rest material is removed from the body through anus via rectum. That was all about nutrition. Hope you all liked this video. Thank you for watching. Do like and subscribe for next video.